Okay, we're recording. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've done something like this, but I figure rather than just continuing to tell myself that I'm going to do something, I'm just gonna do it. So I set up the camera, I pressed record, and now I'm starting. It's kind of crazy how easy it really can be. You know, we'll tell ourselves for so long that we're gonna do something. In reality, the task might be the easiest thing in the world. It might be a task that takes no longer than 10 minutes. If you're anything like me, as a person who just constantly has way too many goals, way too many tasks to accomplish, it's so easy to put things off. Honestly, it does feel a lot easier once you get started. I've been putting out content on the internet since I was like in middle school, whether that be on Instagram, here on YouTube, switched over to TikTok when TikTok came about. I also used to be on the Acapella app, which was an interesting time in my life. And so it's not like this sort of thing is any new to me. But you know, things change in life. Sometimes you'll fall off of a certain goal or a certain hobby or something. But I feel like content creation and sharing what I do has been something that I've never really stopped doing it. Even though I know I haven't uploaded to YouTube in months, at the very least I've tried to stay consistent on other social media platforms just because I feel like I always need an outlet. No matter what, even if I get busy, if I get stressed, sharing my music and sharing the things that I do has been something that has always come pretty natural to me. It's just been something that I've always wanted to do. But I realized, especially the last year or two, content creation has become, or for me, it's become something that felt very transactional. I felt like I was creating content and pushing out content just so that more ears would be able to listen to the music that I've worked so hard on. Not necessarily seeking validation for any of the things that I've been doing, but more so just trying to reach more people who might connect with my story or who might connect with my music and the art that I want to make. And trying to find those like-minded people, trying to create a community. As I've noticed, social media, it's just become very, for profit, for gain. Whereas when it started out, it purely was just for fun, not everything was monetized, not everything was an ad. I don't know, I do feel like I lost track of why I was doing it for a little bit, especially in this last year. Most of you probably don't even know this, but I was signed to a label for the last year, no longer with them, and it was definitely mutual because we just were not working well together. I feel like they didn't really do much for me. But while I was with that label, the main thing that they would keep pushing on me was to create more content, to promote myself, to go viral. And it really demotivated me from posting much at all, just because it didn't really come natural to me to be promotional. Like I said, I've always been creative. I've always used social media as a creative outlet, but it did not come natural to me to be like, hey, check out my song or go, buy this thing, because that's not necessarily why I was doing it. And for me, it kind of messed with my flow a little bit. But all that to say, I'm just really excited to be able to, turn on the camera again and just talk and show a little bit of myself. Because, the last 2 years of my life, I've seen a lot of changes. I was in college in Chicago, and then I graduated, and now I'm living in LA. I've already been living here for like a year and a half, which doesn't really make sense in my brain because time's going by way too fast. But I definitely feel settled here already. And I've just seen the biggest growth in support from you guys. There are people who have been with me since my acapella days, or since I was still uploading my little covers on my Instagram account, all the way back in like middle school and high school. And a lot of new people, a lot of you guys might be new here. When you're on social media and you're looking at numbers on an account, sometimes it really can be hard to conceptualize that and understand that, every single one of those numbers is an individual person. I've always felt like I wanted a better way to connect with those individual people, and I feel like this is the way to do it. I just want to come on here, talk to you guys, interact with you more, because you guys have given me so much. Just from watching any of my videos, following me on any of my social media accounts and following my journey, listening to any of my music or streaming my songs, coming to any of my shows, like all of that has put me in the position that I'm in right now, where I can live here in LA and, pursue what I really want to do. And I'm aware none of that would really be possible without each and every one of those individual people. So it's not lost on me that that support is what artists like me thrive off of, especially now that I'm back independent. Now more than ever, I just really want to be able to, you know, connect with you guys face to face and talk to you guys a little bit more, show you more of myself, because I know you all know I sing, I songwrite, and that's mostly what I present here on social media. But I want to show the other sides of myself, you know, my other hobbies, my other goals and aspirations, because I'm sure that there are a lot of you guys who share common interests, common hobbies, and I just want to have fun with that. So basically, I just wanted to turn on the camera and start something because, again, like I was saying, I am such a procrastinator. I am really bad at prioritizing things. I have a huge to-do list at all times, and I never know what to attack first. I easily get really frazzled, I get really scattered, and therefore nothing gets done, nothing gets started. And so one thing that I'm learning is to truly take things one item at a time. So rather than looking at this giant to-do list, which is really more of a web than a list because nothing's in order, rather than looking at the whole thing and being like, where do I begin? I want to choose one thing, set it in front of me, you know, start this task and complete this task, put it away, and then move on to the next thing. Not to say that I can't multitask, but I'd rather put my mind in a framework where I feel like I'm actually achieving something rather than looking at a huge, daunting task that I feel like I can never complete. For me, even just pressing record on this camera feels like a big step in the right direction. So if there is anything that has been on your mind for a while that you want to do, or you feel like you should be doing, or you need to do, something that you've been putting off for a while, please just start it. At least just start it and see how easy the start can be sometimes, because that is your biggest hurdle. Usually it's just getting started. And then after that, it's so much easier to snowball. Another thing is I want to stop, you know, making excuses, saying I'll get to it or I'll do it once these circumstances are perfect, once I have these 3 things, or once it's this time of year, or, you know, once I'm in this place. Sometimes those things can matter, but really those are just excuses that I'm telling myself to put off a task. Which is why it's only early December. I don't want to tell myself that I'm gonna have New Year's resolutions. I want to have constant resolutions that I'm always working at, not just a list that I create at the start of the year and then forget halfway through. I feel like it's got to be like a constant check-in, you know? Which is why I wanted to start it today specifically. I kind of just had this thought today, like the year is wrapping up and I have so many goals, and I'm just a really ambitious person. I have so many skills that I want to acquire, so many things that I want to learn. I've always been big on learning new things that sometimes it feels like I don't have enough time to do it all. I had to tell myself, the sooner that I start these things, the sooner I can truly see myself doing them in real life, rather than imagining it or thinking, oh, in the future it's going to be so great when I can do this thing. Why not just do it right now? You know, I'm trying to adopt that mindset. So if this is resonating with you, if this is something that you've had on your mind, you have a lot of ambitions, a lot of goals, a lot of things that you want to do for this upcoming year, start it now, because there's really no difference between December 31st and January 1st. It's still another tomorrow. And so I gotta stop telling myself I'll wait until tomorrow when today is right here. One of the things that has been my most consistent hobby and goal for the longest time, yet somehow I keep falling on and off of it, it is language learning. If you've been following me for a while, I'm sure you've seen me post some things about my language learning journeys, but not extensively, just because, again, it's one of those things that I have been continuously falling on and off of. Yeah, language learning to me, I mean, it's gonna be a lifelong journey, and I knew that going into it, so it's not like, oh, I'm gonna learn this language and I've learned it, yay, I'm done. Like, that's not how it works. But for those of you who don't know, I have studied 2 languages so far in my language endeavors. The first language that I studied was Spanish, and I started that in high school when I was around 17 years old. And at this point, I would consider myself to be conversationally fluent, although I don't have as many opportunities to use it anymore, which is surprising because I live in LA and you would think there would be opportunities to use it, but I don't have people who I can consistently use it with, so it can be really easy to lose. So for Spanish, my goal is to always continue improving, find more opportunities to use it, and also maintain what I already know. I don't want to lose what I have. I want to maintain it and continue to learn more, you know, expand my vocabulary, correct any grammatical mistakes that I make, you know, and just overall become a little bit more fluent. Currently, I already have 2 songs out in the world that are in Spanish. and I would love to do more. And so I think that it's really important that I continue to maintain my language skills in Spanish. The second language that I studied was Korean, and honestly I started them around the same time, also in high school, but as an English speaker, Spanish was a lot easier to learn, so I would say I started becoming conversational in Spanish within like the first 6 months, but Korean has been a long journey and it's definitely had its ups and downs. There were times where I felt like I was more conversational and then I would fall off of it and, you know, lose my progress. But where I'm at right now, you know, I've been learning it for over 5 years and I do still feel like I've learned a lot, but every time I go back into situations where I'm using the language, I feel like I have to warm it up again. That's why I wanna, you know, start being a little bit more consistent with it and finding more ways and more reasons to use it on a more regular basis. And so if any of you guys are interested in language learning content, or specifically Spanish or Korean, I would love to make content, you know, in those languages, or of me studying those languages and showing you guys resources that I use or ways that I study, maybe even showing my progress. Outside of language learning, in terms of lifestyle goals, I've been pretty good at staying consistent at the gym and, you know, cooking and eating from home. And so I just want to continue on that journey. This last year is the best that I've ever been at that goal, and the most consistent I've ever been. But I was sick for about 5 weeks, and almost that entire time I did not go to the gym at all. And so that really kind of stifled my flow. And so I really want to get back into doing it more consistently. And then of course I have so many goals and aspirations and plans when it comes to music and creative things. I want to songwrite more and I want to get into production. I've mentioned that a few times on social media, learning more how to produce for myself and for others. And I would also love to, you know, explore other styles of art such as dance or visual art, painting, drawing, things like that. And I feel like a lot of those things are things that I can take you guys along with me. If I ever go and explore something, I just want to share common interests with you guys and get to know the people who have been supporting me for so long. Again, if you were thinking of making any New Year's resolutions in this upcoming year, don't wait until January 1st and start them early. So thank you guys for watching this video. It was a bit of a random one, but again, I just felt like hitting record on the camera and just starting something. So hopefully something that I talked about will inspire you to do the same. Let me know in the comments what kinds of content you guys would like to see, you know, long form on this YouTube channel. And I will see you guys in my next video.